After making sure the bathroom was empty, Jacob quickly installed the camera. Only minutes later, he was already back in his office and looking at the security footage on his screen. Very quickly, he saw a woman enter the bathroom and do something unexpected. She obviously had no idea that she was being recorded. Jacob turned pale after seeing what this woman did. But before we start, smash the like button and make sure to subscribe if you haven't, and hit that notification bell so that you won't miss any new stories. Jacob's eyes widened as he stared at the screen, and he gasped. Immediately, he jumped up and ran into the bathroom, wanting to catch that woman in the act. He couldn't call the police just yet. He needed to catch her red-handed. He ran in there as quickly as he could, but when he slammed open the door of the ladies' bathroom, it was empty. "Where is she? I can't let her escape." She was gone. He hurried back to the bathroom, wanting to take a better look. That woman, why had she come here? You see, she had been holding a bag when she entered the restroom. At first, Jacob had thought that she was just a random guest and had nothing to with what he suspected was going on. But he knew that she had to be connected to everything somehow when he saw her pull a gun out of her bag. So he barged into the stall, where he had seen the woman enter with the gun in her hand only minutes ago. But there was nothing strange to be seen. Jacob returned to his office. He re-watched the security camera footage again, just to be sure that he had seen it right the first time. Jacob wasn't in a hurry this time, so he paused the video and zoomed in on the object in the woman's hands. It was obvious that it was a gun. He watched the woman enter the stall and exit without the gun just 2 seconds later. She hadn't even locked the door while she was inside. You see, the reason he had even hung up the camera in the first place was because he thought something weird was going on. Strange people had started coming to this gas station without filling up their tanks or even buying anything, but simply to go to the bathroom. Jacob tried to ignore the shady visitors for a while, but he just couldn't help it anymore. He was sure that they were up to no good. Back in his cramped office, Jacob replayed the security footage with a growing sense of dread. On the grainy screen, a figure cloaked in black moved with eerie purpose. Jacob's jaw set firmly as he turned off the monitor. He had to find the truth, had to uncover who was behind this. With a deep breath, he made his resolve. It was time to act. Jacob began his inquiries with a casual air, chatting up regulars under the guise of friendly conversation. He probed for any oddities they might have noticed, his tone light but his mind racing. Among the snippets of gossip and wary glances, one detail emerged repeatedly: a peculiar car, always parked just out of sight. A few regulars spoke in hushed tones about late-night gatherings at the diner across the street. They talked of strangers cloaked in the anonymity of darkness, their business unknown, but their presence unsettling. With each bit of information, Jacob felt the pieces of the puzzle locking into place. In the quiet of his office, Jacob began to compile a list. As the moon climbed higher, a car slid silently into the lot. Jacob tensed, his breath catching. Each observation was a vital clue, a piece of the enigma he was determined to solve. These shadowy figures held the key, and Jacob was resolute in his mission to uncover their secrets. As dawn approached, the weight of the night took its toll. Jacob's body ached from hours of stillness, his eyes burned from constant vigilance. With a cautious distance, Jacob tailed one of the suspects, blending into the environment. The suspect moved with a purpose that piqued Jacob's curiosity further. The trail ended at an ominous warehouse on the outskirts of town. Its dilapidated exterior hid the dealings inside. Jacob watched as the suspect slipped through a side entrance, the door closing softly behind. From his hidden vantage point, Jacob observed shadowy figures convening. An exchange occurred, brief and silent. Among them, shockingly, was Mr. Brooks, his demeanor starkly different from the amiable boss Jacob knew. The realization hit him like a physical blow, the implications sending ripples of dread through his mind. As the figures dispersed, a storm brewed in Jacob's mind. The network, the secrecy, his boss's role, it was overwhelming. Jacob knew he was standing on the precipice of something vast, the scope of which was only just beginning to reveal itself. With the meeting over and the warehouse quiet once more, Jacob retreated into the night. Jacob's phone buzzed with an ominous message that sent a chill down his spine. "Stop looking," it read, in stark, untraceable letters. The threat was clear and pointed. Jacob took practical steps to safeguard himself. He changed his routines and became more unpredictable in his movements. He also started keeping notes and documenting everything. Just as Jacob let his guard down, the world spun into chaos. A force slammed into him from behind, sending him sprawling to the ground. His assailant was a blur, a storm of violence. Jacob rolled away, narrowly avoiding a second blow. The attack wasn't just a message, it was a clear declaration of intent. Amid the chaos, a clue emerged that cast the mysterious woman in a new light. A forgotten detail, a glimpse of something familiar. It hinted at her true role in this deadly game. Jacob's mind worked furiously, piecing together the fragmented impressions. Who was she really? And what was her endgame? With meticulous planning, Jacob prepared to intercept the next clandestine drop-off. He knew the risks and understood the perilous game he was playing. As the figures departed, Jacob moved with practiced stealth. He reached the hiding spot and found the package. With swift, careful movements, he replaced it with a decoy, an exact replica designed to buy him time. His hands shook with adrenaline as he pocketed the real package, a tangible symbol of his daring and desperation. In the safety of his dimly lit room, Jacob opened the package. Inside, he found a trove of documents, each one a damning piece of the criminal puzzle he was unraveling. Among the documents was a list, a detailed ledger of contacts and transactions. Jacob scanned the names, some familiar, others unknown. Jacob's mind was a whirlwind of strategy as he planned his next move. He decided to use the acquired package as bait, setting a trap for those embroiled in the criminal activities. With caution, Jacob disseminated bits of information and breadcrumbs leading to the package. The trap was set, the bait was out, and all he could do was brace for the impending confrontation. They took the bait. The suspects converged on the location, their movements cautious but determined. Jacob watched from his hiding spot, his heart pounding in his chest. As they discovered the decoy, confusion turned to anger. Weapons were drawn and voices raised. As the standoff escalated, something shifted. The suspects began to argue among themselves, their unity fracturing. Jacob seized the moment, emerging from the shadows to confront them. Jacob and the suspects faced off, neither side willing to back down. Jacob's mind raced, seeking an advantage, a way to defuse the situation without bloodshed. It was a delicate balance. One wrong move could lead to disaster. During the chaos, a surprising ally emerged. The woman, previously shrouded in mystery, revealed herself as an undercover agent. Jacob was taken aback, the pieces of the puzzle finally clicking into place. Her admission shifted the dynamics, providing a glimmer of hope amidst the standoff. She was not an enemy, but a partner in the quest for justice. The biggest shock came when Jacob's boss, Mr. Brooks, was exposed as a key player in the crime ring. The man he had known and worked for was unrecognizable, a facade masking a dark and criminal underbelly. As the truth unfolded, the criminal's facade began to crumble. Infighting and panic set in, their plans unraveling at the seams. The climax arrived with the wail of sirens and the flashing of lights. The police, armed with the evidence and testimony needed, swooped in to make the arrests. One by one, the members of the crime ring were handcuffed and read their rights. Relief washed over Jacob as he realized it was over. Justice was finally being served. In the quiet aftermath, Jacob discovered a recording left by the undercover agent. His hands trembled slightly as he pressed play, the agent's voice filling the room. The agent's voice was calm, recounting her mission and the role Jacob inadvertently played. She acknowledged the danger he faced and the courage he exhibited. Her words of thanks were sincere, recognizing the sacrifices he made. Jacob listened, a mix of emotions swirling within. Her acknowledgement was a balm to the wounds he'd sustained, both physical and mental. The message ended, and Jacob sat in silence. The journey had been long, fraught with peril and uncertainty. He reflected on the events, the decisions he made, and the people he encountered. It was time to close this chapter, to heal and rebuild. The experience had changed him, but he was ready to move forward, to find peace and purpose again. With the gas station in his rearview mirror, Jacob drove away. The road stretched out before him, leading to new horizons and new possibilities. He felt a sense of freedom, a weight lifted. The future was uncertain, but he was undeterred. His journey had just begun, a path toward healing, toward a new beginning. The sun rose ahead, heralding the dawn of a new day.